Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedom and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country. In the courtrooms of America, Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedom.
A lesbian files a lawsuit to try to take a child away from her mother. I'm Matt Barber, Vice President of Liberty Counsel Action. We're going to talk about that on Faith and Freedom today. On the line is a very special guest. Her name is Heather Lashley, and we had Heather on yesterday to discuss this situation. Heather is the mother of a precious little 5-year-old girl named JC, and Heather, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, we talked yesterday a little bit about your situation. Liberty Counsel has been representing you against this custody, in this custody case. A judge has dismissed the case. We are all very grateful for that. But your now you are out of homosexuality now, correct? And you are married to a man.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. Wonderful man.
A wonderful man, Ryan. And we talked about this yesterday. He is now the adoptive father of your little 5-year-old daughter, JC.
Yes, he is.
Okay, now during all this, and while this was going on, previously you had been, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, you shared kind of what led you into homosexuality for, I think it was 8 years you were involved?
I was. I initially tried to leave the relationship early on, but there was an attempted suicide by the person that I was in the relationship with whenever I tried to leave. That was it was a very hard thing for me emotionally to deal with. I felt very stuck where I was at. It was a control thing that was done, and so I think it helped shape the length of time that I stayed.
Sure.
And then ultimately, once my daughter was born, the more I wanted to leave and the more volatile things became because of the resentment, the more volatile the situation became, and the more stuck I ultimately felt.
Now let me ask you this. When you did ultimately leave, now within the context of this relationship, you were artificially inseminated, is that correct?
I did. I did get through artificial insemination with a fertility doctor in Fort Worth, Texas. I went to that fertility doctor as a single woman. The person I was in the relationship with never attended that any of those sessions with me. However, prior to me trying to have my daughter, she did go to a fertility doctor, a different one, completely different fertility doctor. And with that fertility doctor that she went to, she went as a gay woman, and they required that she go to a counseling session at the time with her partner. So we did, for her fertility treatments, attend a counseling session together.
Now, did she end up having a child as well?
No, she did not. She tried once. She never wanted to carry a child. She really didn't want to be pregnant. It was unsuccessful that one time, and she never went to try again. Okay,
got it. Now, did she consider JC her daughter as well?
She did. Okay, and she still does.
Okay, which of course we know just is not reality. It's biologically impossible to have two mommies. Yet, unfortunately, as we talked about yesterday, in a lot of states around the country, and if, for instance, DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, were either repealed, overturned in court, the floodgates would essentially open where these fabricated familial environments that really mock families that are try to look like, pretend that they're natural families with a mom and a dad, but they have two moms supposedly, or two dads, something of course we know is impossible. Situations like yours unfortunately come out of that. Now it got very scary. You could have lost your daughter, JC. In fact, this woman's attorneys were trying to get full custody and take her away from you. Is that right? What would that have done, first of all, to you and your husband, Ryan, who is now her father, her adoptive father? And then secondly, what do you think that would have done to JC?
Oh, it would have been absolutely devastating. It also would have been devastating to JC. She, from 2000 or the end of 2009 on, didn't know that life any longer. Prior to that, the life that she did know in her brief couple of years in that relationship, it was very volatile. I think that it ultimately would have been very devastating for her to have lost her biological connection to me, and then also to have lost, the relationship she had formed with Ryan.
Sure. Now, you are what some call a former homosexual or a former lesbian. Now, you have said before in talking with you yesterday that you don't believe you were born homosexual, that you think this is that attractions and so forth may not necessarily be voluntary or a choice, but ultimately behaviors and engaging in the lifestyle as you did was a choice. Is that right?
Absolutely. I believe that it is ultimately a choice. Typically, I think that it's a choice made because of some sort of emotional or psychological event. Or has that been your has that been your experience? Have you seen that in the homosexual community? My own personal experience.
Yes.
There are emotional and traumatic things that have happened, I feel, to me in my lifetime that ultimately led me to feel that I wanted to have a relationship that was non-committal, that I didn't have to be married in, that there were really no strings attached, that it was more of a friendship than
Sure.
anything.
Yeah.
And I believe in seeing others while I was in this lifestyle, other people, other acquaintances, so on and so forth, that their experiences are similar. There are underlying emotional or psychological things that they are burying, running from, or have experienced.
Very well said. Now, the courts typically, in cases, custody battles and custody cases, look to what's in the best interest of the child. That is the parameter that must be met. And in this case, certainly, nobody could have argued it would have been in JC's best interest. She didn't even know this strange third-party woman who had considered herself her mother, and that's how it is. A lot of times, the situation is similar to that. Liberty Counsel has had other cases that are very similar to yours right now. Unfortunately, we're finding that with modern jurisprudence, courts seem to be looking more toward the selfish interests of the parent or so-called parents in cases like yours that aren't parents.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, instead of what's in the best interest of the child. Did you experience some of that?
I think that my experience is that we have become more of a sympathetic nation. We sympathetic to the point that rational choices that are in the best interest for a child sometimes are overlooked.
Some might say tolerant.
I'm sorry?
As I said, some people might call that tolerant. We become so tolerant.
Tolerant?
That we're... Go ahead.
Yes, I do believe, but I also believe that, there, to a certain extent, it's sympathizing.
Sure.
And you don't want to upset or rock a boat, and so what is best for the child is somehow lost in the gray of finding a happy medium for both sides.
Yeah. Well, that was very, very well said, Heather, and thank you again. 2 days we've visited with you here on Faith and Freedom. Thank you so much, and God bless you. God bless little JC. God bless Ryan. God bless your family, and and thank you so much for being on Faith and Freedom. Well, folks, yes, go ahead, real quickly.
No, I just wanted to say, and thank you to the Liberty Counsel. You have been an absolute light at my feet, and I am just so very grateful.
Well, you're very kind, and we really appreciate that. And folks, it's because of people like you that Liberty Counsel is able to do this, to come to the defense of people who are in trouble, like Heather was in trouble, like little JC was in trouble, who are unfortunately find themselves caught between the crosshairs of the radical homosexual activist lobby. We need your help. Join Liberty Counsel's ministry today. To find out how, go to lc.org or give us a call at 1-800-671-1776. It's because of your generosity that we were able to pro bono, free of charge, defend people like Heather. Go to lc.org today.
You have been listening to Faith and Freedom with Liberty Counsel. We hope that we have motivated you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedom. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email updates. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.